The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Armando from WSI ALM. Great to have you here this morning, the last day of the year, and also the last webinar for us for this year. Definitely look forward to sharing some great updates with you, as well as a case study, small case study. And I have today with me Vinish. Hope so far that all of you have enjoyed your Christmas holidays, and we'll get started. So Vinish, if you can just I guess before we start, just wanted to know if everybody can hear us properly. We're having a little bit of audio issues in the beginning. That's why we were a little bit delayed. So just let us know if you can hear us properly. Okay, I'm getting some answers here. Okay, great. Okay, excellent. So let us get started. Vinish is going to be joining us. He's a little bit under the weather, but he'll be able to take us through a few of the important slides of today's webinar.
Excellent.
Vinish?
Great. Thanks, Armando. Wishing everybody a very happy New Year in advance. 31st, we're very glad that you've actually chosen to spend a little bit of time with us today. And rest assured, the information that we'll be giving you is going to be quite valuable for you, so it's definitely not time wasted. And just wanted to let everybody know about our LaunchPad series. Based on the feedback that we've received from the ICs, we will be continuing the LaunchPad series into the new year. We've extended it, and Home Office has given us permission to extend the series. And so just regularly, like clockwork, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can expect us to be here, spend an hour with us, and basically learn all that's happening as far as the internet marketing industry is concerned and any relevant information for you. As Armando's mentioned, I'm a little bit under the weather, so you might hear a little bit of sniveling in the background, so my apologies in advance for that, but just fighting a little bit of a cold. Hopefully it goes away soon. All right. So there wasn't a lot of news. There wasn't a lot of action. Seems like a lot of the internet marketing industry is in a sort of a holiday festive mood for the past week or so. So I took this opportunity with Armando to actually recap some of the tools that we've been utilizing at WSI for 2013. And this is all based on popularity and feedback that we've received from the ICs. These tools have been showcased in our past webinars, but the ICs wanted either the information to be repeated, or they loved the tools that were presented to them. So what we decided to do this week was to showcase some of these tools, demo them for you, and this way you have a better understanding of these tools. And if you are working with us, rest assured WSI is utilizing all of these tools on a day-to-day basis when it comes to managing your clients' campaigns. So I'm going to be taking care of that, and then Armando's going to be handling his usual case study, and I believe this week he has some important information related to sales tactics, and that's what Armando is going to be covering. And then, of course, we'll finish off our session with our regular Q&A. Okay, great. So let's dive in. One of the first tools that we'd actually given a demo of and reviewed with you in one of our previous webinars was the Google Webmaster Tools console, and this has only increased in importance and relevancy because of the fact that analytics is not showing keyword-related data now. As you can see in the analytics, and I'm sure you must have observed, the not provided information is increasing as soon as Google's made the searches secure. However, if you log into the Google Webmaster Tools console, and I'm going to be doing that in a second, you can still retrieve keyword-related information. So once Google had made this change, everybody started paying attention to the Webmaster Tools console a lot more, because that's the only place where you can actually access the keyword information from Google now. So let's take a look at the Webmaster Tools console now. Okay, so this is your login screen for the Webmaster Tools console, and then the first thing that you'll do is you'll just put in your username and your password, and then you just sign in. Great. Once you sign in, you'll get a dashboard where you can see all of your accounts that are listed alphabetically in terms of all the verified accounts that you have. So you can have one login for your Webmaster Tools console, which is like your main Gmail account, and then you can actually have all of your clients listed in this particular email. In our case, this is a sample, a test account that we have, so there's a few accounts that are mentioned over here. But in your case, you can have all of your clients' websites all linked to one Webmaster Tools account so that you'll have all of the information with you in one dashboard itself. So let's go further here. So let's say, for example, we want to look at MoneyPit. This is the site that we're going to want to look at for as an example. So we click on this website URL. And once you click on the website URL, you're going to come to the dashboard, the site dashboard screen, as you can see. The dashboard screen gives you three sets of important information pieces with regards to your client's website or your website. Crawl errors, so you can see if there's any sort of like crawl errors that are taking place on your website right away on your dashboard. More importantly, the robots.txt, if that's being fetched properly or not. A lot of the times, one of the basic mistakes is sites get de-indexed because the robots.txt is set to no index by mistake by either the webmaster or the programmer, and the site just gets off the index right away. So you can catch that right here. Search queries, so you can look at the last 30 days search queries, how many queries, what kind of impressions, and how many clicks are you getting. And then you can also look at the sitemaps information at a glance, where you can look at how many URLs have been submitted, how many have been indexed, and if there's any warnings that you need to pay attention to. Now, I'd like to get your attention to this wheel on the right-hand side, the top right-hand side where my mouse is right now. And if you click on that, it opens up a whole bunch of different drop-down functions. And each of these functions are very important. For example, in the first function, which is the Webmaster Tools Preferences, you can actually set up which email receives notifications about any Webmaster or Tools related activity. So you can set up your email over here, and you can enable email notifications as well as the language type that you'd like these notifications in. So that's important. Moving on to the second tab, which is the site settings. If you click on the Site Settings tab, this is where you set up the geographic target for your website. It's very important to let Google know as to what audience, what geography your site is targeting so that it can place your site related to that particular geo-target a lot better and index it accordingly. So if your site is geared towards US users or UK users or Canadian users, for that matter, Egyptian, Latin American, whatever country you're targeting, here's where you set the geo-target and let Google clearly know that your website is related to traffic and visitors associated with this particular country. A very important step to ensure that your geo-targeting is set properly for your Webmaster Tools account. Here's also where you can set up your preferred domain. So it's always important to choose one domain. It can either be the www version or it can be the non-www version of your domain. Doesn't matter. You can choose either or. But the most important thing is when you choose one domain, stick with it so that all of your link building activity, all of your anywhere you're potentially mentioning your URL should be pointing to that particular domain, either with or without the www. And this is how Google understands what URLs should be displayed and how they should be displayed in its index, either with the www or without the www. Crawl rate, but just let it be by default, which is let Google optimize my website. That's what's recommended, so you can just kind of leave it at that. Moving on, if there's any change of address, if you want to set up any 301 redirects, if you've moved your site to a new domain, or if there's any other domains that you want your site associated with, you can set up your 301 redirects right over here and let Google know as to what the address status for your website is. Google Analytics property, it's very important to link your Google Analytics with your Webmaster Tools account. So over here, you can look at all of your analytics web properties by default that are associated with your Gmail account. So they'll get pre-populated by default. But if for whatever reason you don't see it, you can always hit create a Google Analytics account and then set up the account that has the Gmail associated with that particular website, and then you can link it up. Again, a very important step so as to get proper information with regards to analytics, to link up the analytics. Then moving on, you also have users and site owners. This tab basically gets you information on who the users are and who the owners are and the permissions that are associated with the users and the site owners. You can manage site owners from here. You can add a new user and give them whatever permission that you desire from this particular interface. Verification details. This tab relates to all the verification processes that have taken place for the Webmaster Tools account. You can see how many times the verification was tried, what happened, who was assigned ownership when. So it's very good for, like, from a historical perspective. If you're troubleshooting any information or any challenges, you can then try and look at history and who had access when, so as to understand any access related information. Great, and then the last tab on this wheel is the Associates tab. And the Associates tab, what it does is that it basically it allows you to link up certain properties associated with your website, like for instance your Google Plus page, and any associate that you set up can then also edit and make changes to this particular property. So when I'm logged into this account's being given access to the Google Plus page for this website, so I can go in and also make edits and updates to the Google Plus page. The Associates account is set up for this primary reason, and it is quite limited. You do not have admin privileges with the Associates account. Great, now let's focus on some of the options on the left-hand side. So we did look at what the site dashboard was about. Let's move on to the next step, which is site messages. So if Google wants to communicate any sort of like official communication about your website, any warnings, what have you, they're all going to be appearing in this site messages tab here. That's where Google communicates their information to you. So in this instance, we do not have any information from Google. Great. Excuse me. Moving on. So now you have the search appearance tabs. There's like 4 main tabs that have sub-tabs associated with them. You have the search appearance, the search traffic, the Google index, and the crawl tab. So I particularly enjoy the search traffic tab because that's where all of the nice juicy information related to your websites and your keywords and stuff is all about. But search appearance is also great for the information that it provides you. So the first tab under search appearance is structured data. So this gives you information if, for example, if you have any sort of structured any schema markup that you, or any sort of like markups that you're using as far as structured data or languages are concerned, that for any pages for your website, it shows you what that structure is and how many pages are associated with that particular website, so you can go in and fix it. In this case, there is an associated error with the way the structure has been set up in these pages, and that's exactly what gets highlighted so you can fix up. The data highlighter tab is a really cool functionality. So in one of our previous webinars, we covered the fact that schema markup is getting very important for Google, and Google's allowing you to associate certain content on your website and highlight it differently so that Google can present it differently in their search engine. So this is where the data highlighter tab comes into play. You can do your own highlighting of data. It's really simple. And the kinds of data that you can highlight, I'll actually show you right now. So I just click on start highlighting. Let's enter just the home page, and this is what I wanted to show you. So the type of information that you can highlight for Google includes articles, book reviews, events, local businesses, movies, products, restaurants, software applications, any sort of like TV episodes if you're like a sort of like a video website. So you can actually highlight this information and then inform Google that this website or this particular piece of content is associated with this particular schema markup, and Google's going to then present this differently in its search engines. And all this is being done so as to provide users with the most relevant information and give them all of the information related to that. So for instance, if you're advertising a book on your website, you can just click on book reviews, tag just this page and go okay, and then it's actually going to take you to the website, and then you can start tagging it and associate that with this particular tab. And as you can see, here are some examples of how these listings are appearing on Google once they've been given this data highlight tab. Google lists them out separately in its index once you've told Google what the site and the information is all about. Moving on to the next one, the HTML improvements tab. This is a very useful function as well. So the HTML improvements tab allows you to identify any sort of issues that are related with your metadata. So if there's duplicate meta descriptions, if there's long meta descriptions, if there's missing title tags, if there's duplicate title tags, it identifies all of this information for you. So in this instance, look at this. This particular website has 96 duplicate title tags. And what Webmaster Tools actually allows you is for you to click on this information, and then it even breaks the pages down that have this duplicate title tag information. So if I click on the first link, the Philips LED bulbs deliver energy efficient lighting, the money pit, it gives me the two URLs that have the same title tag, so that I can go in there and I can then have the webmaster make these fixes and either delete one of the pages, because it seems like in this instance there's a second duplicate page that's being created by default for this page, so you can go in and get rid of one page and then just stick with the other page, and that's how you can start eliminating these duplicate title tags. And as you can see, it gives you information on all of the pages. Look at this one. This one has 5 instances of duplicate title tags, and all these 5 pages have essentially the same title tag, which is not a good thing. That needs to be fixed up. Site links. If your site has site links, which means that if you actually look at your client's website on Google, you'll see some additional links associated below it. In this case, the site does not have the site links, so it's all blank below it. Search traffic. So I'm going to focus on the first tab, search queries. And this has become so important because Google Analytics now is not displaying keyword related data. So when you want to get keyword related information and see actual keyword queries, you come to the search queries tab on your Webmaster Tools account. And as you can see, you can only go back 3 months in this data. So it's very important to export the data and then archive it every month, because you're going to lose out the 4th month's data. So for example, to show you what I mean, right now it's the 31st of December. So if I go back, you see I can only look at information starting the 2nd of October. I don't have information prior to that. So I click on the 2nd of October to the 31st of December. Now it's giving me all of the information that's related to this particular account for the last 3 months. So as I can see, you can sort it by impressions, sorted by clicks, sorted by click-through rate, sorted by the average position and the actual queries and how they're doing. So this is one way, one of the most important ways around that not provided challenge that we as marketers now have because of Google securing all of their site search information. This is where we come in and basically get keyword related information for a particular website. You can also look at links to your website. So, who's linking the most to your website, what's your most linked content associated with your website. So that's useful, good information. Internal links, so the internal links tab, self-explanatory. It shows you all of the internal links that are created in your site. And then the manual actions tab is where if Google penalizes your website or takes any sort of manual action whatsoever on your website, is where you can find a message from Google. So if Google's issued some sort of a manual penalty on your website, here's where there'll be a communication. You can read through it and then take the necessary action based on what Google's mentioned to you. The other 2 tabs are also useful information, like the index status. So you can look at what the index status for your website is, how many pages are indexed on your website, content associated keywords. This gives you a good idea of like what's Google seeing when it comes to the keywords associated with the content of your website. And this is important to understand because what Google's seeing here in terms of keywords is exactly how it's archiving your website in its database. So, what's the significance? Like, so money, because it's the money pit, the significance is pretty high. Google's obviously going to be indexing this based on the information available. So this kind of shows you what the important keywords that Google's crawlers, the Google bot, is picking up when it's indexing your website. If you want to remove any URLs, you can use the Remove URL tab and you can remove any sort of like the URLs. Crawl's important to understand any crawl errors associated with your website. So if you want to try and diagnose or understand any sort of like crawl errors, here's where you look at the information. If you want to submit your sitemap, you can go into the sitemap tab, and then you can actually submit any of the information associated with your sitemap right here. So you can submit your new sitemap right over here. Excellent. So these are kind of like the main functions for like the Webmaster Tools console. And again, for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the next tool that we're going to review. But hopefully this gives you a nice little overview of the Webmaster Tools console and the important information associated with it. Great. So moving on, this is one of my personal favorites, the WordStream PPC audit tool. Again, we reviewed this in one of our past LaunchPad sessions and got great feedback from the ICs. So the WordStream PPC grader tool, what it really does is that if you already have an existing Google AdWords account, it's going to analyze that account. In less than a minute, we're actually going to analyze one account right now in front of you, and gives you a lot of actionable insight, a lot of actionable information on what can be done so as to make that account better. And it does this just automatically as far as your website is concerned. So let's do a test of this tool. So our company is WSILM, so you just fill in the company, business industrial. I'm just choosing in random categories. Let's say business education, just put in your name, your email address, your work phone number, and then you hit continue. Oh, do you have a Google AdWords account? Just mark yes. Continue. So it's now connecting with Google. And this is a live, sort of like a live API, right? This app would like to manage your AdWords campaigns. Since I'm already logged onto my SEO 5, that's what it's picking up. I want to actually log into a different account. So I'm going to sign out. And then it's going to ask me for a username and a password to log into. And then I'm going to basically pick an account that we are running for one of our clients right now. This is actually an audit that we need to do. So just copy paste the username and the password, hit sign in. And then the app's going to ask you for permission. This app would like to manage your AdWords campaign. It's a real-time API, so you hit accept. Once you hit accept, now it's going to start building up your campaign and start confirming your information. So it's loading up the information now. And it happens all really, really fast because it's an automated tool. So it's going to take your information, hit continue. So look, so this got only a 14% grade. Over here, it's going to assign you an overall grade. It's based on 100, so this has got 14%. It shows your active campaigns, your ad groups, your text ads, active keywords, clicks in the last 90 days, conversions in the last 90 days, CPA, what's your average monthly spend. And then it actually starts breaking down the information for you. Wasted spend, quality score, impression share, and they explain the data really, really well. So you can actually look at each of these metrics and understand what's going on. Your click-through rate, so it showcases your click-through rate, your connectivity, your long-tail keyword optimization, your text ad optimization. So you're looking at your best ads, your worst ads. It gives you all that information. It looks at your landing page and then gives you information related to your landing page. It even gives you some information and ideas on mobile advertising and shows you what potentially you're missing the boat on when it comes to mobile advertising. And then overall, it recaps the PPC best practices. There's like things like network targeting, geo-targeting, landing pages, conversion tracking, text ads, etc., etc., etc. And it breaks all of this information down for you. And the good part is that it actually emails you this report. And then you have a copy of the report with you, and then you can share that with your client, give them the information, and this is kind of like a quick sort of like an audit. So if let's say you have a prospect and you're pitching for a PPC campaign for them, here's a quick sort of like a report that you can run takes you less than 60 seconds, as I showed you, utilizing this tool, and you can actually give them information on how their campaign is performing right now. Again, the information has to be taken with a grain of salt. It's an automated tool. It's not a manual tool, so some of the information might appear conflicting to what's actually in the account, but that's where sort of like, you know, again, it's an automated tool. So take all the information and proceed on all the information with caution, I should say. Excellent. So that's the PPC audit tool. And then another tool that's our favorite that we use all the time is the SEMrush tool. So let's go over there and look at SEMrush for a sec. So now the SEMrush tool, and one of the things that we love using the SEMrush tool for is the organic information that comes along with it. So let's say you have a prospect and you want to try and see as to what they're ranking for right now. You don't even need to type in keywords, because SEMrush over the years has built a huge amount of database and is tracking keywords on a live real-time basis. So you don't even need to type in the keywords. All you need to do is just type in the domain. So in this case, let's say we use the same example, moneypit.com, US. You can target different countries. And I'll show you all the countries that you can target in a second. So if I do a drop down, so you can do a search for Google US, Google Canada, Google Brazil, Bing US, and then in Europe it gives you access to UK, Russia, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and Australia. So you can actually look at site rankings in all of these geo-targeted Google search engines and even Bing US, and look at how your prospect site or how your site is performing. So as I mentioned to you, one of the things that I love about this tool is this information. So in a second, I can basically look at all of the site's organic keywords as to where they're ranking for. So I click on the full report tab. As you can see, we logged on, we pay. There's a monthly subscription that we pay for access to this tool, and that's when we have all of the information available to us. So when you click on the information, organic keywords 1 to 100, so it's displaying 100 at a time, and you can see the keyword, you can see the position, you can see the search volume associated with that keyword, and these are all organic rankings, organic listings. What's the cost per click? See, it also gives you an approximate cost per click. What does it cost to bid in this keyword in Google? The URL that's ranking, again, very important information, so you can actually see what page is ranking that's associated with that particular keyword. And then it goes on to give you a lot more other information like costs, percentage, competition, how competitive is this keyword, the number of search results that are associated with this particular keyword search. You know, if you type it in Google, how many results come up for this particular keyword search, and you can even get like sort of like a trends analysis. And when was the last update done for this keyword search? So when was MoneyPit, the actual keyword, keywords rankings checked in Google? That was last checked on the 4th of December, and this site is ranking position 6. It even shows you the previous position in brackets, right? So prior to 4th of December, whenever they ran the previous search to check how this keyword was doing, it was ranking 8. Now it's ranking 6. This is a great report because this gives us information on what are some of like the soft targets that we should be looking at when we are optimizing a particular campaign. So our goal would be, you know, if there's a whole bunch of keywords that are ranking from 11 to 20, as we all know, when your site's at position 1 in organic search, you probably get around 12 to 13% of all search volume associated with that keyword. And it drops to 1.5 or 2% if you're at the 10th position in Google. So our goal is 11 to 20. Obviously, your click-through rate is really low. Your percentage of search share is really low. So our goal as marketers now becomes to take those keywords that are ranking from 11 to 20, prioritize them, and get them in the top 5. And this SEMrush report allows us to focus on and showcase keywords that are in that 11 to 20 zone, so we can take them, focus on them, and get them ranking at the top. It's amazing to this tool is really amazing to focus on your competition as well. So we look at what the competitors are ranking for. You can type in any website and you can actually look at what they're ranking for, and then this allows us to spy on the competition to understand what their organic strategy is all about, what keywords they're going after, so we can then incorporate our own strategy based on what we're seeing our competition is doing. So SEMrush got a lot of other functions as well. Like, they have advertising research, AdSense research. You can even look at backlinks. I'm going to show you a more powerful tool for backlink research. You can do keyword research. There's other really cool tools that you have. You can use this for position tracking, charts, etc., etc. But what we really love using this tool for is this organic research. You don't have to type in the keywords where, a majority of the tools you have to type in the keywords associated with the website so as to check their rankings. But in this instance, you don't have to type in any keywords. All you really need is just the website, hit search, and it's going to get you all the rankings for that keyword. So that's why this is one of the primary uses for this tool. All right, so moving on. Here's another really interesting tool, the WhiteSpark Citation Finder tool. So we get a lot of local SEO campaign requests from ICs, which kind of makes sense. Every IC is assigned a territory, so a lot of the campaigns that we get are local-based campaigns where, let's say, it's a lawyer or an HVAC company or a plumber or a locksmith that's located in a particular geo-target, and we want to try and get the rankings high for that particular geo-target. Based on the study that David Mim, which is the local search guru that's now joined hands with Moz, Rand Fishkin's company, based on David Mim's local search ranking survey that he does every year, and that's one of the most important surveys that everybody waits for, local citations are very important for ranking high when it comes to local listings. We understood that, and that was one of the things that came about last year in his search ranking factors survey. And so now the key became, how do we find citations? How do we find targeted, related citations for a client's website so as to get maximum number of citations possible for a particular website? And that's where this particular tool comes in, the WhiteSpark Citation Finder tool. So all you have to do is just go to, let's just add another tab right here. Oops, my bad. I'm just going to Google this really quickly. So you click on the link, brings you to this sort of an interface, right? And again, a great tool. So I'm going to log in here to this tool. Log in. Brings you to this sort of like an interface where you have your offline conversion tracker, which is a great conversion tracking tool that they have as well. But what we really love is the local citation finder. So you click on the local citation finder tool. What it's going to do is it's going to bring up an interface that allows you to start searching for local citations. It's going to open that up in a sec. Now they also build citations for you, so you can actually pay this company to actually build the citations for you as well. Again, they're a little expensive. They charge you $5 for every citation that they build. So I mean, let's say if you were building 200 citations for your client, that's going to be almost $1,000. So yeah, use us. We're cheaper. All right, so this is where you can start searching for your citations. Select your country, so if it's Canada, the US, whatever you want to choose. Select your state or your province. Enter the town or the city that you're looking for citations in. Enter in your keyword, so let's say if it's a florist or a lawyer that you're trying to rank for, type that in. Select your final key phrase, whatever that final key phrase is. Let's say, we chose lawyer, and then it's going to basically give you your final search phrase, whatever the search phrase is, lawyer, Alberta, etc., etc. You can assign it, like there's projects that you can organize in this dashboard, so you can assign this to a particular project, and then you just basically hit search. We're not going to do this right now, but I can show you some of our past searches that we've done. Right, so great. So here's some of like the past searches that we've done. So we can look at, let's say for instance, one of the searches that we recently conducted was painting company Alberta. So we're working with a local painting company in that has a presence in Alberta. So there's different queries that we were running: painting company Calgary, interior painting services Calgary, painting company Alberta. So painting company Alberta gave us 238 citation sources. So you click on view sources, and then it basically gives you a full list of all the different citation sources that are available for our client where we can get our site listed. So you see 411.ca, Ken Pages, Yelp, Homestars, Yellow Pages, WebLocal, etc., etc. And this gives you the entire list of all the citation sources that we can get our clients listing in. And then, so the idea is, this is our citation research tool. We get a list of all the citations that we need to build for our clients to strengthen their local listings, and then we give this to our link building team, and then they go ahead and submit the site to all these different citation sites. It actually, this tool goes a step further. It actually gives you the top 10 or the top 7, actually the top 7 locally ranked sites for your particular keyword search. So whatever is coming in that 7-pack, it actually shows you those websites that are coming up in the 7-pack, and you can click on their citation sources. So you can understand where are they getting their links from so as to get them to rank so high. So you can kind of reverse engineer the competition, and you can look at view sources. Let's say this guy, you can look at his sources, his citation sources, and see where he's getting links from, so as to understand why he's ranking so high. Great tool for local optimization. I mean, it's going to be so tough without this to do local citation finder searches. You can utilize all sources like there's these sources that go ahead and bulk and do bulk submissions for you as far as local listings are concerned, but they're not as comprehensive and as thorough as doing your research through Whitespark, pulling all of the citations that you can submit to your site, and then going ahead and doing the search. Great, moving on. So we have the Moz on-page grader tool. Let me show you what this is. This is a part of the tool set that's offered by the company Moz, moz.org, Rand Fishkin's company. And this is the tool that we love with this particular site. So the on-page grader allows you or shows you how well your page in your website is associated or optimized for a particular keyword. So to give you an example, let's say this is a client that we have. I'm just going to type in a random keyword, sponsor a child. Excuse me. So this is the website, the website URL, plantcanada.ca, and you can actually even have subpages, like you can have inner pages highlighted in the optimize tab as well, and then the keyword sponsor a child. Click on grade the on-page optimization for this particular keyword associated with this page, and let's see what's coming up. The reason why we like this tool so much is because this just makes on-page optimization for a particular keyword just brainless. All you have to do is just take the URL, take the keyword, hit grade the on-page optimization, and it's actually going to give you a grade overall. So in this case, we get a C because, again, sponsor child is not being targeted for this URL. It's being targeted for another URL, which technically should be getting an A. So this is a C, and the goal is to get an A grade on your website. And then what it does is it actually breaks the information down into all the best practices that are associated with on-page optimization. Keyword in the title, in the URL, in the meta description, in the header tags, in the body of the page. Is it bold? Is there an image alt tag associated with this keyword in this page? So it breaks all of that information down, and then it also lists out all of the contributing factors with their definitions on how important they are for your on-page optimization for a particular keyword, and it breaks all of this information down. And the green check mark basically shows that you've met the criteria and you are fulfilling the criteria for on-page optimization associated with that particular keyword. And all the other ones, it highlights with the level of importance associated with the other ones. Keeps going on. As you can see, it's really thorough. It gives you a lot of information for the on-page optimization. just keeps going on and on. So there's like 15 to 20 different characteristics that it looks at for that keyword that you're trying to optimize for that particular URL, and it grades that page. And then all you have to do is just print out this report, submit it to that team, and now they know exactly what they need to do in order to get an A grade and do top-level optimization for a website. So this tool, hands down, is our favorite tool when it comes to on-page optimization analysis for our clients' websites. Excellent. So moving on. So the final tool that we wanted to evaluate and show to you today was the G-Shift's backlink analysis tool. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the fact that G-Shift is associated with WSI. They're an official partner with WSI. So the ICs are encouraged to utilize G-Shift. So one of the cool features with G-Shift is their backlink analysis report, and it's a really powerful report. So when you log into your G-Shift interface, this is kind of like how it looks like. You have a drop down at the top, so you can basically look at the sites that are associated with your particular account. So you can look at, so if you have like 20 sites, they're all going to be listed here. So in this case, let's take a look at one of these sites. So let's say we're looking at Planned Canada. That's a huge nonprofit associated with child sponsorship in Canada. And then I'm going to click on the Backlinks tab. So you click on the Backlinks tab, and then I want to look at all of the backlinks associated with this particular website. However, I want to go a step further, and I only want to look at backlinks that have been associated or discovered in the last 30 days with this particular website. So G-Shift's tool allows us to look at websites, inbound links, and also segregated based on time frame. So if I want to look at all the backlinks, I can just click on all, and it's going to show me all the backlinks associated with PlannedCanada.ca. I can look at the last 7 days, I can look at the last 30 days, and I can look at the last 90 days. Furthermore, the tool also allows us to differentiate between follow and no follow. So how many no follow inbound links are there, how many follow inbound links are there, or if I want to look at all, follow as well as no follow. Include image links, so if there's images that we have that are generating inbound links, we can either choose to look at them or not look at them. And then the best part is that I can actually export this report. So I just click on export the report into a CSV, and it's very soon going to generate a CSV file for me for the links that are associated with this website for the past 30 days. There you go. It's done. It's really quick. Hit the download tab. It's going to open up the report, so I open it up. Boom. So from domain, so you can see all of the links that were generated for Planned Canada. So as you can see, the sister site, Because I'm a Girl, is sending a lot of links to the Planned Canada site. You can even look at the anchor text. So what is the anchor text associated with these links? When was it added? Is it a follow? Yes, it is a follow. Or no follow. Is it a new link? Yes, it is a new link. And then you can just scroll down, and then you can look. They're getting links from Because I'm a Girl. They're getting some links from the Huffington Post. They posted some articles over there. A lot of links from Because I'm a Girl, because they want to interlink these two sites because of the content that they have. They got Relief Web, Playground Confidential, globalnews.ca, etc., etc. So now you can do a full sort of like a backlink analysis on the links that you're generating. It doesn't stop at that. What it also allows you to do is you can set up competitors in your tool. So for example, for Planned Canada, we've set up 5 different competitors, including World Vision, SOS Children's Villages, Save the Children, Christian Children's Fund Canada, and Compassion. And let's say if I click on World Vision, I can now start spying on our competitors. And I could start looking at, let's say their links in the past 30 days. So you just click on that information. You want to look at data for the past 30 days, and it's going to start pulling the information for the competitors. This is great for like looking at, what they might be doing. If there's some new press releases that have come out, if they've launched a new program, especially this time of the year, it's really busy for donation season. So you can look at, so it's a great competitor monitoring tool. You can look at any new media releases that they've done, etc., etc. Where are they getting their backlinks from? and then reverse engineer the process, and for whatever keywords that they're ranking for, you can analyze this whole thing like crazy, their anchor text, etc., and then build your own client's backlinking strategy based on the competitors. So this is a tool that we love when it comes to analyzing backlinks, either for our client or for our competitors, when it comes to backlink tools and backlink analysis. Great. So that was kind of like a recap of some of the top tools that we utilize on a regular basis at WSI ALM in our campaigns, and always discovering new tools, which we'll constantly keep sharing with you in our regular LaunchPad series, which is continuing on into the new year every Tuesday at 11 a.m. And at this point, I want to hand it over to Armando. He's got a really cool slide on your sales process. So I'll have Armando take it away.
Thanks, Vinish. Thank you for that information on the different tools, recapping what we've learned in the past months. Well, what I wanted to share with everyone today was something very simple. As we are moving into the new year, and I'm sure many of you will be having meetings with your clients and trying to continue to develop the relationship with them, I thought I'd kind of share some information about the effectiveness of marketing and sales working together. As a marketeer, ICs are continuously working with business owners or directors of marketing to improve on the overall bottom line of the client. So I thought that this specific blog posting on Kismetrics was a very good infographic that you can use at your next meeting with your client in regards to providing them with some meaningful information about some of these strategies or the results of the online marketing activities and strategies that you are implementing for them. And it's very important because clients do hold us accountable for the end of results. But at the end of the day, we also have to flip it around a little bit and make sure that we work with them and their sales team to develop an effective relationship that's going to generate more results for them. So with Kismetrics, they actually develop a very cool infographic, and the link is at the bottom. You can actually go there and see it. And basically, what they were looking at, the study that they developed was, what is it that what are the key things that are happening in any successful sales organization? What are the key factors that allow them to become very successful? And this could be, anything from a small business one-man show to an organization, with 30, 50, 100, 300 plus salespeople. It is the same, and it's very important data that you can share with your client, just to kind of make sure that whatever activities that we're generating for them, whether it be a PPC campaign generating leads, or an SEO campaign generating leads as well. What should they do with these leads? Because many times I go into meetings with ICs and the clients don't know what's happening to the leads that are being generated online. So this is a very cool tool to educate your clients. A cool post that you can use. And one of the key things that they found in regards to lead generation is that the importance of lead response time. Okay, and believe it or not, only 37% of companies respond to inquiries within the hour. And as a matter of fact, there is also about in that number, if you look at the graph on the side here that I added on the presentation, you will see that we have about 24% of companies actually do it after 24 hours. Now, in sales, lead to speed is very important. So, the faster you get to your client, the higher, the higher the probability that you'll be able to close them. As a matter of fact, out of those 37% of companies that respond within the hour, they actually did a study, and they have a 7 times likelihood of having a meaningful conversation with the key decision maker. So right away, by the sales team connecting with the lead right away within the hour, they have a likelihood of actually making an impact of their product or service to the end prospect, right? They also talked about B2B leads, whether it's manufacturing, IT, consulting, that leads contacted within 20 minutes get the most effective qualification, right? So if you are working with these type of clients, you want to kind of share this statistics with your clients to make sure that the leads that you are generating and that you are providing to your clients through your SEO, social media, or PPC campaigns, that they're being taken care of. And as a matter of fact, one of the tidbits that they mentioned in this report is that the best medium to follow up is not only just calling them, but also doing a follow-up email. Okay, so that's very important. Another tidbit of information that's very important is 35 to 50% of sales go to the vendor that responds first. So again, you do want to share that with your client in regards to lead to speed, making sure that any leads that you're generating for them are being taken care of right away. Another key thing that's important, they talk a lot about lead nurturing, and it's something that sometimes salespeople they'll complain about the type of leads they're getting, or maybe they're not qualified or they're not ready to buy. As a matter of fact, one of the important aspects of this posting is the fact that companies today have to have a very well placed plan in regards to lead nurturing, because the fact of the matter is that when a person submits information via a form or a telephone call to a company online, 50% of leads were qualified, but they were not ready to buy. What does that mean? That they meet the criteria that you want them as a prospect, but you know what? For ABC reason, maybe it's not the right time for them. So you have to nurture them. And obviously, the companies that have a successful lead nurturing plan are the ones that end up winning, because they're the ones that take care of the client throughout the sales process. And if they're not ready today, well, they'll follow up with them in 3 months. So they have a recycling of those leads. They call them back in 3 months, or 90 days, or 120 days, etc. So it talks a little bit about that, how important that is for the leads that you're generating. And one of the key factors that they talked about was that companies that excel at having a very well-placed lead nurturing program, they actually have 50% more sales at a 33% lower cost per lead, right? So this is important. Again, if you have a lawyer client or a dentist client, or a client that you are running actively lead generation campaigns, because what ends up happening is when you sit down with them every month, they want to know how many leads you generated, but in reality they don't tell you what they've done to the leads this past 30 days or the past 60 days or the past 90 days. So it's very important that you develop a very good relationship with the director of marketing at that company or the owner to make sure that you're working hand in hand. And again, lead nurturing is a key factor. Some of that lead nurturing may actually lead to more business for you, because you can actually have a well-placed email marketing drip or email marketing campaign to develop their lead nurturing program. And as the stat you see here on the presentation is that 79% of marketing leads never convert in sales due to the lack of nurturing. So right away you're looking at the fact that 80% of the efforts, whether it be financial or time and money, are wasted, because you know what, the salesperson calls them, maybe the person's not ready to buy, and you know what, lets them go. A part of our background has been a lot working in different industries, and this is one of the key things that we always work with, specifically with franchising and lead generation, is the fact that you have to have a very well thought out lead nurturing program. Now, how does that play into your role as an internet marketeer? Well, basically, because you want to create that relationship with your clients and you want to create added value, these are the things that you can actually help them out with by developing an email marketing strategy for them. Okay, and if you look at the other factors here, is when sales and marketing work together, there isn't a 25% more increase in revenue from the company if they work together in these different strategies I mentioned to you. And as a matter of fact, 57% more higher ranking sales performers. So as a matter of fact, by you working with the sales manager or the sales team or the business owner, you're helping their sales team improve their performance. Okay, and you have a 15% increase in win rate, meaning that again, the efforts working together will allow your client to be able to win more contracts. Okay, so these are things that if you go to Kismetrics.com and the effective sales process, I definitely recommend it to you, and take tidbits of information. As a matter of fact, in this posting, you'll see that they actually want you to tweet or post some of the data, so you can start planting the seed to your clients and into what's happening. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to generate more revenue, right? They want to decrease their costs per lead acquisition or client acquisition, and also improve the performance of the sales team. And you can definitely play a very important role in this if you follow some of these highlighted instructions by this post. Okay, so I hope this helps you move forward with your conversations with your clients in the new year. Vinish?
Excellent. Great. Thanks, Armando. That was definitely very, very helpful. Moving on. Just a little bit about us and question time. So let's see some of the questions that we have. I'm just going to pull up the questions. Okay. So our question list. Oops. All right. So Sharif had requested for a copy of the recordings. Yeah, absolutely, Sharif. All the recordings are going up on YouTube, so we would be sharing the links. Yuka had a question. Do you need to have a pay-per-click search campaign to see search query data for keywords? Yuka, if you're referring to the PPC audit through WordStream, yes, you need to have an existing campaign for the audit report, but I think your question was to do more with Webmaster tools. No, you do not need to have a PPC campaign. So even if you have just a regular SEO campaign running, the Google Webmaster tools is going to give you search query data for the last 90 days, regardless of whether you're running a PPC campaign or not. Now, Google Analytics is only going to show you data if you're running a PPC campaign, but for Webmaster tools, you can look at the data even without a PPC campaign. Bob has a question with regards to what permissions do you need from a prospect to run the Grader plus PPC audit tool. You basically need to have a read-only access, Bob, because the tool again just needs read-only access in order to work. So as long as you have read-only access to that account, you should be able to run the report. Bob had another question. For the SEM Rush report, can you tailor the geolocations more closely than just county? Like in Google Keyword Planner, you can pick state, county, town, etc. Unfortunately, Bob, you cannot target geolocations more granularly. I think you can only do it at the country level at this stage. I believe GShift has a tool that allows you to look at rankings, local rankings. That's a new feature that's come out with GShift. But as far as SEMrush is concerned, you can only look at country level data. Is SEMrush better than SpyFu for organic search? We utilize SEMrush. I've heard a lot of great stuff about SpyFu as well. It's a great tool. There's a lot of good reviews about it. We personally utilize SEMrush as far as organic data is concerned. In the past, when we were using SEMrush, we saw that the keyword ranking data wasn't all that accurate because their database was not updated that often. But in the recent past, I'd say over the last 4 or 5 months, their data has been spot on when it comes to organic rankings. And the best part is that, again, as I mentioned, you don't have to type in the keywords. It just searches the keyword rankings for you. All you have to do is just type in the website URL. What password storage tool are you using? This is a question from Brian. I wasn't really using any sort of a storage tool, Brian. When you log in, browsers like Firefox or Chrome prompt you the option of saving passwords, and that's normally what I utilize. And I save my passwords, not for my bank accounts, only for these tools. Lori had a question: can Whitespark be used for national or international clients? Good question, Lori. Right now, they have the ability to look for citations, I believe, in US and Canada. They are adding UK to their interface, but I believe as of right now, you can look for citations in US and Canada, utilizing that tool. Brian has another question. How safe are the competition links that we find in Whitespark? From safe, Brian, I assume that you're questioning the accuracy of the data. It's pretty accurate of what we've seen, and the best part is that it also gives you the 7-pack for that particular keyword search and what's coming up in Google, and you can look at each of the citation links for the 7-pack and then develop your own link building strategy. So from that perspective, it's pretty cool. Bob has a question with regards to the Moz grader. Was the Moz on-page grader you showed the paid version? How much does it cost? Unfortunately, Bob, yes, it is. The on-page grader tool is available only via the paid version, and the lowest paid version for Moz starts at 99 bucks. But if there's any reports that you want us to run, we'd be more than happy to run for you. Just send us the website URL and the keyword, and we'll run that for you. But yes, it comes with that paid version, and the lowest monthly subscription is $99 a month. Yuka clarified that. He was talking about the Webmaster Tools console. Yes, Yuka, as I mentioned, you do not need to have a PPC account to get that information on Webmaster Tools. You can get it just for any account that you have right now without running a PPC campaign. However, again, I'd like to point out the fact the data for the keywords in the Webmaster console is only 90 days old. So if, like for instance, right now we can only run it from the 2nd of October to the 31st of December. So every day that goes by, you're losing a day in the past. So it's very important to archive the data, because you won't be having access to that data in Webmaster Tools. Excellent, great. I think that's all the questions that we have. Thanks once again for joining us today. It's the 31st. Thank you for taking our time, and we wish all of you a really happy new year from all of us at WSILM. As I mentioned, it's been a great year, and we look forward to an even better 2014. And have a great time tonight, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.
Best wishes to everyone.